Definition everyone. Okay, first off, welcome back to another video. So today we're going to talk about Oscar Piastri, aka this guy. Now, if you're familiar with him, that's good. If you're not, Oscar Piastri is a Formula 1 driver for McLaren. Anyway, I'd like to talk about, well, obviously him, but I'd also like to talk about the fact that when he came into the sport, and especially after, like the 2024 season coming into the middle of 2025, he was viewed as maybe the best rising talent in Formula 1 history. Like, he seemed like he could be one of the greatest to ever, okay, that might be a bit of an exaggeration, but that's what I feel people kind of saw when they looked at him. And along with that, I feel like people now have kind of just that thought is kind of gone, and everyone's kind of assumed that talent is kind of wasted now and he hasn't lived up to it. But honestly, I feel like he could still genuinely be a world champion, because let's be honest, he's quite young. Sure, he's only 25, so 25, that's a very good age, in my opinion. He's entering his athletic prime, which doesn't really make a difference in Formula 1, but I don't know, it's just something I suppose you could look at. As well as that, McLaren haven't really had a good car in 2026 this season. In 2025, best car, and he got, he wasn't as experienced, so back then, car isn't as good now. So I think if he had the same car as last season, he's probably better this season. He's obviously more experienced. He's probably a bit smarter. I feel like he might be able to pull a championship, So once every team kind of settles into the regulation changes, I feel like he could be a bit of a kind of like a dark horse, someone you may not think could really get up there, but I feel like he could, really show up. And it really depends on the car, the conditions, of everything, mental state, contract, all of that, teammate as well. If he has a good teammate that can aid him, then I feel like Lando's a pretty decent teammate, but he's kind of more on the selfish side, and McLaren kind of tend to sometimes, baby him and kind of support him more than Oscar. So yeah, but anyway, let's look into some of the stats first off. Alright, so first of all, let's get into it. So as I said, here are some stats. So he's obviously 25, he was born on April 6, 2001. His full name is Oscar Jack Piastri, and his career stats are 9 race wins, 28 podiums, 6 poles, and 9 fastest laps. Yeah, so that's pretty good, in my opinion. For someone who's 25, 9 race wins, 28 podiums, 6 poles, 9 fastest laps, that's really good. I don't think, many people around his age have gotten that. Now, I will say, it is half up to the fact that he did have, the best car last season, and that's where basically all his podiums and his race wins, poles, podiums, that's basically where most of those come from. Excuse me. But yeah, I think there's still obviously some skill in there, because even if you have the fastest car, if you can't drive a car, then you're not going to win races or even get podiums. So respectfully, I think he is still a good driver no matter what. Yeah. Well, let's also go over his results this season in the races. So obviously, in Australia and China, he did not start the races, which is quite sad. But then we go into Japan, Miami, Canada, and Monaco. And this is actually quite impressive, considering this has become a Mercedes-dominated season. In Japan, P2, and in Miami, P3, 2 podiums. In Canada, P11, not good. And then we go into Monaco with the P4. This is pretty good. This is, and he's 5th in the championship as well, Compared to his teammate Lando as well, he's doing better than him. He's also overtaken him in the championship. So, he's definitely pretty good in my opinion. And I know also I don't know if you guys didn't know this, but he is my favorite driver, personally, he's mine. But yeah, And this isn't preference, by the way. Like, I'm showing you pure stats here. So, yeah. I mean, you can argue with this, but I feel like currently this season, he's top 5, top 4 drivers just based off results. And, you know, I don't know. Yeah, I just realised I forgot to mention, actually, that obviously he hasn't been with McLaren his whole career. So yeah, let me just mention, he raced with Prima in F2, and then he moved up to Formula 1 and raced with McLaren. And end of story. Get the out of here. Stay back. Anyway, what else is there more to mention? I'm not really sure. I just, like, you know, let's be honest though, I think we can all agree he does have potential, and some of that may be untapped, you know? I think he's still probably a rising talent, you could say, but he's obviously getting to that point where he's reaching his potential, and there's not much more room for him to grow. But that's not exactly, you know, a bad thing, because he's still good at the moment. So, you know, that doesn't exactly mean that he's growing, you know, but, like, he doesn't have much more to grow, and, you know, he's not great, you know, at that stage. It's just, you know, more kind of like he's getting to the end of that kind of segment of his career where he's still growing, you know, as a driver. So, yeah, that's why I think Oscar Piastri could still be, you know, that's why I think he's probably still one of the biggest rising talents in Formula 1. So, thank you guys for watching. Have a great day, and hopefully you enjoyed this. Bye. And don't forget to like and subscribe and comment, and make sure you say, I love Josh Ladd in the comments, and I want him to marry me. Alright, bye guys.